G'day all, this is going to be a supercut of my top 10 builds for Battle Brothers Expert difficulty. For the extended cut, with more information on each build, just look at the pinned comment below. But before we continue, if you haven't already, you can head to the community tab of the channel and vote for your favorite bird of the week. This week we got 4 penguins to choose from. It's going to be the African, the Chinstrap, the Southern Rockhopper, and the Humboldt Penguin for you guys to vote between. Alrighty, so let's begin our list. So first up we have the Forged Generalist. If you need someone to do something, do a bit of everything, the Forged Generalist is the build to go to. So basically, you want to give this guy your best and heaviest armor, 2 of your favorite weapons, preferably one for close range, like 1 tile away, and one for long range, like 2 tiles away. And in the third slot, you can have like a ranged weapon or a utility item such as a throwing net. So this guy is very good because you can pretty much use whatever you want. Here I have double axe, but you can have like great sword plus goblin pike, or you can have two-handed flail plus what's it called, the pole hammer. All of these combinations are really good. This guy has really good survivability with all of the defensive perks between Colossus, Steel Brow, Battleforge, and Underdog. He's got some good damage perks as well between Headhunter and Killing Frenzy. He's got some stamina and fatigue management with Weapon Mastery and Pathfinder. And the flexibility lies within the Quick Hands perk, so you can swap between whatever is in his backpack and his primary weapon. Also, Fortified Mind gives him lots of resolve, so he never breaks. Alright, second in the list we have the Nimble Forged Generalist. The main difference between this guy and the Battleforged Generalist is that this guy is wearing lighter armor. We're talking about around 30 to 35 fatigue worth of armor, so he has more fatigue to play with, basically. This guy has more fatigue to play with, and because he's wearing lighter armor, he has a bit more initiative. So this guy is more suited to put onto the flanks. So your Battleforged Generalists are in the front, these guys are on the flank. They can collapse on the enemy's flank and converge towards the center of the enemy's formation. This guy's also good at rushing down enemies such as goblins, or rushing down like witches and stuff, because he's really fast, because he's wearing that lighter armor. Yeah, okay. Next up, we have the Flail Frontliner. So if you're ever really annoyed at enemies that keep bogging you down, like the shielded enemies that keep bogging you down, like the Ancient Undead, or the Noble Footmen from like noble houses, this guy is the guy you should build. With a heavy flail, a two-handed flail, or the Berserk Chain, this guy smashes front lines, the enemy's front line. So you can clear away the shield guys at the front, so you can push through the center and hit the enemy's backliners. So we're talking about hitting the pikemen, arbalists, witches, shamans, beastmasters, whatever fleshy enemy are in the backline. This guy clears the path by smashing up all of the shield guys, so your other brothers can just run through the center and hit the enemy. So the main difference between this guy and the Frontline Generalist is that he has the Brawny perk, so he gets a bit more fatigue to work with, and he has Berserk, so he can smash more shield dudes at the start of a fight. He can't Berserk forever, but that's okay. You only need to smash like 2 or 3 shield guys and you'll be fine. Alright, moving on. We have the Forged DPS. So this guy, the name of the game for this guy is just to deal as much damage as possible. There's less defensive perks, but instead of that, we focus more on offense, such as with the Executioner perk, in addition to our damage perks of Headhunter and Killing Frenzy. I highly recommend that you pick your favorite polearm, such as the War Scythe or the Sword Lance, and you spam AoE attacks. You can also do that with a hammer, or like a great sword, or a bardiche, like a great axe, to AoE down enemies. But I find that the War Scythe is great at slicing up enemies from like 2 tiles away. And the Recover perk helps because using AoE attacks requires a lot of fatigue, and sometimes you just run out of fatigue, and so Recover can help you recover all of that lost fatigue and keep on AoEing the enemy. So this guy's always good to have. Moving on, we have the Bannerman and the Sergeant. So everyone knows that there's a battle standard in the game. You get it by paying $2,000 to complete your ambition quest, and then you get the battle standard. So every teammate or every ally that stands within, or not every ally, every battle brother that stands within 4 tiles of the guy that's holding this gains 10% of this guy's resolve. So for example, if he has 150 resolve, everyone within a 4-tower radius gains plus 15 resolve, which is really good at keeping everyone's morale high. So the whole purpose of the Bannerman and Support Sergeant is to raise the resolve of everyone nearby. And the way this guy is built, he also has the rotation perk. So if a frontliner bro is too injured, this guy can swap positions with him and take some of that heat instead. Because he is super high resolve and wearing like really heavy armor, he can take a hit and he's probably not going to break. And he'll rotate your other bro out so the other bro can flee and retreat to safety. Bannerman Sergeant, always good to have. Alright, next up, we have the Dagger Specialist. So sometimes you want to deal damage directly to an enemy's health and not to their armor, because part of Battle Brothers is finding new gear for all of your brothers to wear, right? But if you destroy all of the enemy's gear by hitting them in the body, hitting them in the head, you'll have like nothing for your brothers to loot in the post-game loot menu, right? So this guy focuses on wearing nimble armor, so he's really fast. So we're talking armor that weighs between 15 and 20 fatigue in total, and he's going to be using the dagger and its second ability with the puncture ability. So puncture is you deal the damage directly to the opponent's health at the cost of no critical hits and a minus 15% hit chance. But you deal that damage directly to the opponent, so there's always good loot to have. This guy's always good to have to focus down the key enemy threats that are wearing really good armor. We're talking about like brigand leaders, knights, barbarian chosen, orc champions, all those guys that you need to take out like as a high priority threat. This guy is perfect for just stabbing them straight through the armor and taking them out. So Dagger Specialist, always good to have. Next, we have the Battle Forged tank. Because sometimes you need to hold the front line to make sure like your front line doesn't break, or you need to like tie down a really threatening enemy, such as like Lindworms, Unholds, enemy knights, barbarian chosen, or maybe even like 18 undead. Like who knows, right? So this guy has the heaviest armor. He carries like a shield as well, and the undead trophy necklace. So all of this is like protection against physical damage, like the armor and the shield, and then the undead trophy necklace doubles this guy's resolve against resolve affecting attacks. So we're talking like horror from Ancient Undead Priest. We're talking about mind control from Hexen. This guy can just tank a lot of things. Okay, so you send him out into your front line to tank the enemy's front line, or you send them out far off into the distance to draw the aggro of like anywhere between like 6 and 18 enemies, and you can keep your other brothers safe. So the way this guy does this is because he has like all of the defensive perks between like Shield Expert, Battle Forged, and also Lone Wolf as well. But he also has the ability called Indomitable. So what Indomitable does is that for 25 fatigue and I think 6 action points, this guy takes 50% less damage, and he cannot be moved, stunned, or move or stun, I'm pretty sure. So this is really good for tying down those enemies that like to push your front line back. So like Unholds, they can throw you, but this guy, when he uses Indomitable, he cannot be thrown. So he keeps that front line like locked in place. So any enemy within this guy's zone of control cannot move him, and they're kind of stuck there. So this Battle Forged tank is really good to have to tank damage. Moving on, we have the Nimble Duelist, because sometimes you need like a really fast guy like on the flanks to just take out like really weak enemies, or to secure your flank against Wolf Riders or Dire Wolves, or anyone that wants to flank you. Sometimes it's really good to have a Nimble Duelist. So this guy wears Nimble Armor, and he carries your favorite one-hander weapon. Pretty simple. Just make sure he doesn't get hit by too many weapons like cleavers that inflict lots of bleed. Make sure he doesn't get like stunned or have nets thrown on him or stuff like that, because he'll probably die, because a lot of his defense comes from the dodge perk. But yeah, this guy's always good to have. Because he's holding one weapon in his hand, there's room to carry like a net in his offhand as well, so he can like net down really key threats like Barbarian Chosen, or like Unholds if you want, or Blade Dancers, or Sword Masters. Like key threats, you can just net them down and fight them with the one-handed weapon. So Nimble Duelist, really good to have as well. You don't want to have too many of them because they don't last as long as like Battleforge guys. But yeah, always nice to have a Nimble guy. Moving on, we have the ranged DPS. So sometimes you just want a character that can reach out into the distance and attack enemies. So this guy is the way to go. So we're stacking like all the damage perks on him, like Crippling Strikes, Executioner, paired with like Headhunter and Killing Frenzy as well. So this guy can definitely one-shot goblins, one-shot Hexen, and like really focus down key threats like enemy billmen, like guys with pole weapons, guys with two-handed weapons, enemy shamans, overseers, engineers, anything that needs to get killed has low, like medium to low armor. The ranged DPS is the guy to use. You can pick your crossbow or pick a bow, whichever one you prefer. I like crossbows because of the high armor piercing, but bows are also good as well. Alright, moving on to, I think the final build of today is the Skirmisher Hybrid, because sometimes you want a thrower or you want a ranged guy that's really good in the closer to medium range, and so throwing weapons such as like heavy javelins or heavy throwing axes have a lot of armor piercing. So the heavy javelins you see are really good at hitting like fleshy opponents, such as like humans, goblins and such, and these axes are better against stuff like ancient undead, which have like low HP and like somewhat decent armor, but these things are much better against ancient undead. And then this Skirmisher Hybrid, he's built with bags and belts in mind, so you can carry a ton of extra stuff in the inventory. So like maybe a melee weapon, because you might want to throw this guy into the melee after he's used up his throwing weapons, or you might want to carry some extra nets. You can carry like 3 nets in total plus 3 weapons, and you can net down key threats, or you can chuck like javelins, throwing implements at them, and finally go in with the melee when you're out of stuff to throw. This guy's pretty neat to have. And as an honourable mention, we have a Gunner Specialist as well, because I really love guns. This guy is built in particular with double gun in mind. So at the start of the turn, you swap to your second gun, you reload it, you wait. When the enemy front line moves into range, you blast them with your first gun, you swap to your second gun, you blast them. If you get the kill, it procs Killing Frenzy, so you can reload that second gun for the turn after. So guns are really good at shredding our enemies' light to medium armor, so you can completely shred them to deal lots of injuries. This guy also has like high resolve with the way I built him with the perks, plus fearsome. So high resolve plus fearsome means that you can deal a ton of morale checks against the enemies to make them flee. The more gunners you have, the more armor shredding you can do, and the faster you can inflict injuries with your guns. And the faster you can deal morale checks against the enemy with fearsome. So a Gunner Specialist is really fun to have. And if you have like 3 or 4 of them, you absolutely will destroy any light to medium armored enemies. Okay, well, thank you all for tuning in to my top 10 Battle Brothers builds for expert difficulty. I hope these builds help you guys or inspire you to create your own builds. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, if you want an extended cut of this where I explain all of the perks a bit more in detail, just head to the pinned comment in the description. As always, if you enjoyed what you're seeing today, please consider liking and subscribing. It really supports the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.